Judd, congratulations. When we spoke the other day, you were talking about how he was an up-and-coming player, a dangerous opponent. You must be so pleased to wrap that up relatively easily.
Yeah, it was comfortable in the end. I think at 3-0 it was looking a bit dangerous, really. I think just managing to get that lead overnight sort of really finished it off and started off well tonight. So, I mean, it wasn't my brilliant best, but it was a lot of good long potting and giving myself a lot of chances. So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take positives from each round, don't you?
Yeah, I never play my best in the first round ever. I don't think I've ever played that well. So yeah, it's just about improving as the tournament goes on. You want to get through the first couple of rounds unscathed, really, and to beat him 10-4, I'm happy with that. You
had some celebrity support tonight. James Maddison here cheering you on. Tell us about that connection. Obviously, we know about Leicester footballers that are cheering on Mark Selby, maybe not so people that are with you.
Yeah. He spoke to me a few weeks back. I think it was his dad's birthday, so he messaged me and asked if I could get him tickets, and I was more than happy. I've seen him a few times out when I'm drunk. I've never seen him sober though, so looking forward to speaking to him in a minute after the game. So I didn't get a chance to see him earlier. I was just trying to prepare, do everything properly, and obviously nice for him to come in and support me.
Does it say something about snooker when we do see some of the bigger name celebrities from football that want to come and watch this?
I think this is such a big event. I think this one and the Masters, I think just sort of just stand out from the rest. As tournaments, there's sort of a prestige and just a different atmosphere around these two tournaments. So yeah, more than happy if anyone wants to come support me to try and sort them out, and anything we can do to grow the game and get different people in from different kind of backgrounds is amazing for the sport.
Just a thought on Anthony Mcgill next.
Yeah, tough game. He sort of plays his best snooker, I think, in the World Championship. I think he struggles a lot in the other events. I think just some of the games he's had in this tournament, the atmospheres he's sort of experienced, I think he's someone that probably struggles more than anyone else, I think, to get up for any other tournament. So I think he feels at home in this event, and he's a player that sort of just quietly goes through the tournament, and he's someone that you've got to watch out for. So I know that I need to improve my game and improve my scoring, but overall, generally quite happy with that game.
Yeah, I mean, you say he loves being here. I mean, he can dig in, he can score, he's got a good safety game. I mean, you have to be on it, don't you, from the start in that match?
Yeah, he's really consistent. I think he's got a good cue action. He's got a lot of self-belief. Mentally, he looks pretty strong. So he's had a few tough losses here, and I think he's going to be wanting to go and rectify that. So for me, I'm just looking to sort of improve as the tournament goes on, and he's sort of a good test to have at this stage.
Okay.
We'll do a quick one for TalkSport, Judd. Thank you very much. Same sort of. Well, with Judd Trump after a 10-4 win over Iran's Hossein Vafaei. Judd, I know you've won 2 titles this season, but by your own sort of assessment, the magic hasn't always been there. But how do you assess your win today?
Yeah, it was genuinely it was quite good. I think the safety was really good, long potting was really good, break building, the touch wasn't quite where it has been, but that will come. Just sort of different kind of pressures out there compared to some of the other events, and just sort of didn't have that sort of finesse, the touch to sort of be in perfect position, but still managed to pot a lot of good balls, and hopefully the more sort of you can play out there through the rounds, then you sort of feel more relaxed.
Hossein is, he's obviously just outside the 16. He's quite a confident player. He had a little bits to say running into this tournament. Do you think he sort of found out what the Crucible play's all about in this match against one of the top players?
I mean, yeah, I think he struggled a little bit at the start. He looked a little bit nervous out there, and I was able to sort of get out of that first session. I think just having that lead overnight, 3 frames, is quite big, and obviously starting off well again today kind of put the match to bed, really. So yeah, I mean, he's a very confident player. He really believes in his ability, and I'm sure in the future, in snooker terms, he's still very young. In the future, I can see him having some good runs here.
You're through. Obviously, a lot of the big guns, aren't they? That perhaps the expected possible winners of this championship are through the first round. You think it's shaping up quite nicely?
Yeah, I don't really think anyone thought that it was sort of be this smooth. I think everyone was sort of expecting a lot of maybe the seeds to be going out, but overall it's just been sort of pretty plain sailing for a lot of the top players, and it makes for sort of an amazing lineup for the last 16 and onwards, really. So a lot of amazing players still left in the tournament, and a lot of good games to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as you mentioned before, you had a bit of celebrity Premier League support today. Just James Maddison from Leicester. How do you know James?
I've seen him out a few times in a few clubs. No, there's been quite a few players that have asked to come support me. So he's sort of Matty Cash come last year, James this year. Hopefully, if I can get through the tournament, there'll be a few more. But it's always good to have sort of people like that kind of recognise what you do, and he's a real nice lad, so it was amazing to have him here.
Well, we all know how much pressure, sort of the spotlight there is on the Premier League, but there are 11 of them. Do you think they sort of appreciate what it's like for you guys, individual sport, to have literally all eyes on you?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult because yeah, you can, if you make mistakes, and sometimes you can get away with it in team sports out there. You're sort of under the magnifying glass, under the microscope. So it's difficult, but it's obviously different backgrounds, how different people have sort of grown up, so completely different, but I'm sure he appreciates how hard it is.
And your next opponent, Anthony Mcgill, who seems to like the Crucible. Quick word on him.
Yeah, he's a great player. He seems to play his best at the World Championship. Seems to sort of struggle with some of the smaller events, but he's someone that you can't take lightly. He's always, the last few years here, he always seems to sort of play his best game, so it's taken a lot of good performances to beat him.
Brilliant. Congratulations. Good luck with the next round, John.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, man.
Judd, feel like you've not been too happy recently. Has that improved your mood after that win?
Not really, no. Nah. I think I'll be a lot happier when I'm on holiday, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult. I think it's when you're any kind of sports, when you get to a level and you're not producing that all the time, I think for anyone it's difficult. So I feel happier having sort of all my family and friends here, rather than sort of doing it alone at a lot of the tournaments. And I have my brother there, but just being able to have everyone back at this event, I feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more relaxed, and just able to not have that pressure, just feel like I'm at a snooker event, but just to feel like I'm at home and have sort of be able to chill out in between games and matches.
Those levels you mentioned, is that something you feel you can get back to, or was it that the peak that you hit that you might not see again?
I think, I mean, consistently, I think it's hard for anyone to win 6 events. I don't think it's something that may never happen again in the sport. It's never happened before. So, I mean, I was just lucky to experience that, be the person that's done it. Do I think I'll ever get back? I doubt anyone will win 6 events, to be honest. But I can keep trying, keep putting the work in. I think for me, I'm always someone that's sort of one ball away from being at my absolute best, just finding inspiration from somewhere. A lot of the other players maybe take tournaments or matches. It can literally just be one shot, and all of a sudden I feel I'm at my absolute best again. So it's just about getting that feeling back. And at the World Championship, I can always play my way into the event, and I feel like over that amount of frames, at some point something is going to click.
Neil Robertson spoke about maybe 2 venues in Sheffield for this event to deal with the cramp conditions. So there's 2 table setups and a purpose-built arena. Is that something you'd go along with, or
no?
No,
Absolutely not. No. I mean, this venue is amazing. It's not perfect. It just needs to sort of. I just don't think there's the room. But if they could have the room to fit some kind of hospitality in towards the top and boxes, that kind of thing, then this venue would be perfect. So, I mean, every day, I think every time I get answer this question is always a different answer. Honestly, I don't really know. I'd love to stay here, but and just make a few minor tweaks just for sort of hospitality and things like that, and this would be the perfect venue then.
Yeah, you don't have a problem with the cramp setup then? Do you think that's part of it, having the 2 tables in up until the semi-final?
I mean, Neil's amazing. I don't think he has a problem with the cramped. He didn't when he won it. He's an amazing player. I genuinely think it just he obviously knows himself best, and he's won a lot of amazing tournaments this year. He's the best player by an absolute mile. I think for me, if I'm looking from the outside, he needs a little bit more support. He tries to do it himself a lot in this event. In 17 days, you can't spend that alone. You can't do it. So hopefully he doesn't bring anyone here, because it makes it more dangerous. But I think this is probably just a little minor excuse.
You were looking for a momentum throughout the season. I thought that you found it in Turkish Masters with the maximum in the final. I think everyone was happy. You seemed happy, but why didn't that achievement put you in the position that you were looking for?
I feel like I sort of struggle compared to other people to, like, if I win a tournament, it's not because I've played the best kind of thing. For me, I feel like when someone else wins an event, they take a lot of confidence from it. But just, I feel like how I've improved over the last 4 or 5 years, that I'm not always at my best to win my tournament, so I don't always take as much as maybe somebody else would from it. There was times in that tournament where I played absolutely awful, really. I managed to sort of just get over the line. I think the last sort of 4 or 5 frames against Matt Selt in the final, this probably the best I played all season, the best probably looked and felt, and just sort of such a relaxed feeling, like even on the maximum break, I was just no nerves. I knew I was going to make it. So it's hard to sort of pinpoint when that's going to happen. I've been lucky enough to sort of experience it for the past 3 years, but it's just not quite clicking all the time at the moment.